Hello again! In this video, we will explain the basics of video editing as well as a first explanation of a very powerful editing software called DaVinci Resolve. Blackmagic Design DaVinci Resolve 18 is one of the best video editors that also has a free version. Trim media, correct colors and apply effects and audio adjustments all in one single place. It is available for Windows, Mac OS and Linux in two main versions, one free and another on payment called Studio, offering more effects and tools. In this video, we will run the free DaVinci Resolve in a Windows machine. Project Manager. As you open DaVinci Resolve, the Project Manager page opens, showing all your existing projects made. Workspaces. To start with a new project, click on New Project at the bottom. The new project opens on the main interface, divided in several workspaces at the bottom. Inside Media, you import, manage and organize your files. With Cut, you trim these files properly. Switch to Edit to make and build the main video. Open Fusion to add professional and custom effects. With Color, you apply professional color adjustments. Inside Fairlight, you make proper audio corrections, recordings and remixes, and finally, you open Deliver to render and export your final video. In this video, you are going to see the most important workspaces you need as a beginner. The first thing you do is import all your files to work with, such as photos, videos and sound files. Switch to Media and drag and drop these files from any folder into the Media Pool panel at the bottom. Here, you can select any file to get a quick preview above. This media pool is also present inside the Edit workspace, from which you can drag and import files inside the main project timeline, which is the place where you build your main video. Visual files like videos and photos are collected within video tracks in blue color, whereas audio, speech and music within audio tracks in green color. Timeline view options. You can adjust the timeline preview with timeline view options on the left in order to show or resize thumbnails, audio waveforms, or resize tracks height. You can also zoom in and zoom out with your mouse wheel while holding down the Alt key and moving time with the Control key down. Preview and project options. To get a preview on your video in progress, use the player above and watch the video preview. You can also place or drag the red marker to check specific frames or a sequence of them. Make sure to check your project settings in the bottom right corner. Under Timeline Format, you can adjust the video preview options such as resolution and frame rate. Saving. To save your project, use Ctrl and S. Resolve shows an edited label above to remind you to save. Selection mode. Now, let's see how to edit clips with a selection mode. Click and drag any clip to move it in time or within tracks. Videos containing audio are moved and kept together unless you right-click and go to Link Clips to make this independent. If visual clips overlap in time in different tracks, the clip placed on top is always shown in front of all the others inside lower tracks, whereas if clips get overlapped within the same track, the second clip gets cut. To split, use the Blade Edit mode and cut any clip in two or more independent parts. Enable the Blade Edit mode and click on it. In Track Management, on the left, you get several options to manage the content inside each track. Click on the Lock button to block any modification on the current track and use the Frame button to hide any video track content, whereas click on M or Mute to mute an entire audio track and on S or Solo to mute all the other tracks except the current one. Inspector Panel on Videos. Open the Inspector panel on the right to enhance the clip selected from the timeline. Depending on the kind of clip, you get several sections enabled, each with several properties to customize the sliders or precise values. Double-click to type in and apply with the Enter key. Moreover, use the Revert button to reset any edited property and the orange button to turn it on or off. Check the preview to see the result of your modifications. If you do not see anything applied, make sure to preview the current clip. When dealing with videos and pictures, you can open the video section to adjust their appearance. With Transform, you can move, scale, and rotate the clip, whereas open Dynamic Zoom to add a nice motion effect by following any Reddit template chosen. Annotations. From the tool list, you can also enable annotations to draw markers showing sketches, arrows, and rectangles. While selecting audio files, you can adjust volume, balance the stereo channels with pan, correct the pitch, and apply audio filters with equalizer. Keyframing. All the inspector properties can be also changed in time by using the keyframes. If you click on the diamond node next to any property, you can also enable the envelope button on this clip. You can see it if you zoom in enough on the clip. Each keyframe saves its instant of time horizontally and property value vertically, so a proper placement of several keyframes save the envelope curve, modifying the property in time as you like. Effects panel. Now let's see the effects panel. This collects several effects, transitions, and text which you can add to your project. You can hover over any effect to get a quick preview of it and drag and drop it on any clip to apply it. Adding transitions. The effects panel also includes loads of video and audio transitions that can introduce or end any content with nice effects. You can drag and drop any transition to the edge of any clip or between two clips if they are put next to each other. You can manage transitions just like clips, as they can be moved, adjusted in length and speed, and edited in properties with the inspector. Adding titles. Besides effects and transitions, you can also add titles. This includes loads of ready text templates, including static titles, animated Fusion titles made with a Fusion composition, and subtitles. Drag and drop any template to create a great text clip, possibly placed on a top video track, not to get overlapped by other clips. Deliver workspace. If your video is ready, open the Deliver workspace to export it. At the bottom, adjust the in-out region to select what to export and check the Render Settings panel on top. Set file name and destination folder on location and select the color template on top. At this point, go to Add to Render Queue to add a new job on the Render Queue panel on the right with the chosen video and audio options. Then select the job and go to Render at the bottom to extract your video. Now, let's see the basic workflow while editing. When editing, having a workflow is extremely helpful. This way, you can save a lot of time and you don't forget any steps. The workflow is mostly independent of what software you're using. 1. Gather all the material needed to create your movie. Notes, script, storyboards, line, SD cards, images, etc. It is best to have it all there. 2. Start the classification on your hard disk of the different files. All data in the same single drive. The more organized you are, the easiest the editing, especially in big projects. Keep in mind that changing the position of the files or the various file names after you have created and imported your material is a huge mistake. Before starting the next step, it's hugely suggested you back up all this organized content of your new folder on a different hard disk drive. 3. Import in folders as organized as you can. Audio, music, categories of videos, images, speech, etc. is better to be in different folders. This is a time saver for big projects. 4. First edit on timeline. If you have been similarly organized in the pre-production stage, you should have your scripts, storyboards and notes from all shots next to you. Choose the best take and trim all extra parts. In case you're working with a narration, for example as this video is now, first import all speech and then start adding videos above it. Remember to finish each step before going to the next to avoid extra unnecessary work. 5. Designing the story. Now you have all the right files in your timeline. If you don't work under a strict storyboard, move them around to test how they make a good story. Only when you have finished with this, you put the cutaways on top. This leads you to the rough cut edit of your project. 6. Final editing. After finishing the step above, you should probably try to see it overall with a new eye, and because that is not always easy, consider showing it to some other people. For this reason, you may want to put a bit of music or sounds, but remember not to spend a lot of time doing this in detail. Say nothing that could affect your perspective. After you get your feedback, consider deleting, adding, changing scenes and shots order, etc. 7. Adding transitions. Choosing the correct transitions between the different files is something that you only want to do when everything is in place. It can be much more consuming than one may think. 8. Adding titles and effects. Titles, captions and credits have to be thought a bit before put together. Test different fonts and positions and try to make them stylistically similar. Effects might be a green screen, time lapses, slow motion, etc. 9. Sound editing. It's time for sound levels correction, sound effects, adding music, fade-ins and outs. 10. Coloring. In low-cost projects, and if you don't have this skill yourself, you will probably just do basic corrections from the editing software itself. These will be white balance, brightness and contrast. Going in more detail, you would apply color filters and changing color levels to get more vivid colors or imagery closer to film look. 11. Exporting. Create your master copy depending on the needs of your project. You should keep both the project files of your editing suite and your original files, even though they are large and might take space on your disks. Never forget the necessity of backing up everything. How to answer any question. Remember, this information is the basic for any beginner. There are so many detailed options in the software. If you need anything more specific, do a quick search on Google and you will easily find it. Try to mess around with the program with a few random clips before you do your first video, just so you have a first grip of the overall layout. Have fun!